Hi friends, and welcome to another one of our... Hi friends, and welcome to... Were you doing a funny face?
I was doing a funny face.
You were doing a funny... Okay, ready?
Yeah. Seriously.
You're always going to keep laughing now, aren't you?
You made me laugh.
Hi friends, and welcome to one of our Disney World planning videos. In this video, we're going to show you exactly how we plan our days at the parks and how we know where we should be and when.
Yeah, so we're going to run through exactly how we structure our days. Everybody does this differently, but this is just the best way that works for us. And if you stick around to the end of the video, we're also going to give you our top 5 tips on how to get the most out of your holiday.
Yeah, so if you're struggling or if you've been to Disney before and you find that it's really chaotic and you can't remember where you've got bookings at and you're always in your phone trying to work out, on the day, where am I supposed to be? Where do I need a park pass for today? Trying to work out, especially if you've got kids, I can imagine, if you've got children and quite a big family or anything like that, and you're trying to work out where you're supposed to be at what times. We're going to show you exactly how we conquer that and what we do about making sure that we know where we're supposed to be on what days, at what times.
Yeah. So I'm sure that we all know that somebody always takes on, within your party, there's always one person that takes on the role of planner. It's usually me.
Booking.
I love it. Yeah, I absolutely love it.
I don't.
Yeah, I know. That's why I do it.
I like just being there.
Yeah. You don't even know what flight we're going on.
No. I'll just get on whatever plane I'm told to get on.
Yeah, basically.
Hoping it's the right one.
So, yeah, for us, I'm very much the planner, but it is good. Rob's a lot better at fancy spreadsheets than I am. So it's really good to work together and put this out, but 99% of the time, I'm the one that's booked the things that we need to do that day.
Yeah. If it was up to Matt, he'd have it all written on the back of a napkin.
Probably.
And if that, and then we just end up not knowing where we're supposed to be and things like that. So I like things all more organised and more planned out and just a little bit more, I don't want to say structured because that sounds a little bit, but I just like to know what's going on and I like to have a plan. So we will get on with day one. So our day one will be our travel day.
Yeah, so just to talk you through the spreadsheet, and in fact you created this, so I'll let you take it away with what goes where.
Okay, so basically the way the spreadsheet has been designed is we've got each day column here. In there you select your park at the top, which park is your main park for the day or where you're actually going. You've got all of your times split by hour down on the side. And then right at the bottom, you've got a drop-down menu here for your park pass. So you put whatever park pass you want in. And the reason that we do that is because we want to know at the top, we want to know here exactly which park we're supposed to be in for the majority of the day. What's our main park for the day? What kind of a day are we going to be having that day? But what we've also realised as well is that the way, at time of filming, the way that Disney currently run this is that you need to book a park pass to be able to get into a park in that morning, and you can't park up until 2
p.m.
Yeah, so you need to book a park pass for that day, and the reason why we include like this is to ensure that we book the correct park pass for the day. So for example, we could go to Busch Gardens for the day, or we could go to SeaWorld, or somewhere that's not a Disney park for the day. Because they close earlier and the Disney parks are open later, we potentially could have a restaurant booking, or we might just want to go to that park afterwards. To be able to do that, we would need a park pass in place to be able to tap into that park.
Yeah, exactly that.
So we need to make sure that we book the right park pass for that day. And this is just a way of recording it so that we can quickly look at it and go, oh yeah, park pass for day is that one. Yeah. Just so we can get it all in and we know what we're doing and things like that. We don't get confused by days. Sometimes we might have a conversation and then we might change the plan a bit later on, and then one of us might forget that we've changed the plan later on. So one thing is, well, we're going one place, and one thing is we're going somewhere else. And it just makes sure that we both know where we're going, what kind of day we're going to have. And it also means that we can check as well that we've definitely covered every park and we've covered them enough times. You don't want to end up going to Animal Kingdom 4 days out of the 2 weeks and then end up missing out on Epcot because you've forgotten to go there or something. So it's just a very loose plan so that we know where we're supposed to be and to make sure we're getting the most out of the 2 weeks that we've got.
Yeah, exactly. And just to go back to the park pass thing as well, it's a really good thing to remind yourself in case you spend a day off site doing whatever you want to do. For us, that could be Universal or Busch Gardens or SeaWorld or somewhere like that. Or potentially even just a water park. But, you know, if you're going to spend the majority of the day there and then in the evening you do want to go to a Disney park, you still have to have that park pass in place.
Yeah.
So it's good for us to be able to say, oh, well, we're going to be in Universal till, I don't know, 6 p.m, for example. But we've got a park pass booked for Epcot, so we could get back to Disney and go and watch the fireworks or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So we don't stick to this plan. You know, this is not a strict itinerary of what we'll be doing for the holiday. This is just a generalised, quick plan that we've put together just to ensure that we kind of know whereabouts we're supposed to be. Make sure we've got all of our restaurant dining bookings and stuff like that all in there, so we know that we're booking the right park passes for the right times to make sure that we can get into the correct parks. Because if you can't get in to a park you've got a reservation for, you're going to miss that reservation.
Yeah, you are.
So so do you just want to get into it?
Yeah, I guess so. So day one will be travel day, so the majority of the morning will be blocked out. Probably, I'm going to say, I think we're due to arrive at the resort around 5:30 time.
So I'm going to block out till 7.
Okay.
6, sorry.
Okay.
So we'll block out till 6, that we know, because we don't know how long it's going to take to get through security and things like that. So we also don't know what stock will be
on the transfer.
Yeah, so if I just block out until 6, and that's our travel.
And then that will probably, I'm hoping by 7 p.m. we would have checked into the room.
Yeah.
So if we put between 7, I'd say between 6 and 7 ideally, but if we say in the 7, do we want to put Target?
Yeah, so 7 till 8 Target.
Yeah. So we did that on our last trip, didn't we? And we actually found that it was a really good time to do it because we were too target.
We were too targets to do anything else.
We were too tired.
That sounds like an advert.
We were too tired to go into the parks, and it felt like a waste of one of our days that we were allowed in the parks, because if we go into the park on that day, then we can't book a park pass for another day. So because we only get 14 days of park tickets, so it's either like, I don't know, one of the days where we're potentially going to be at Universal, or our last day we wouldn't be able to go to the parks. Personally, for me, I don't know about you, but I would rather have the option to do it on those other days.
I would rather have the full days or the other days, and then this day just kind of tie it off as a travel day / Target day / going to get dinner / tired / go to sleep,
unpacking, all that stuff.
So then you can wake up the next morning fresh, early, and get on with your first park that very first morning.
I know that some people do like to get there and go straight out to a park, but for us, knowing how we felt last time
and arriving so late in the day, like if we were arriving at 10, it would probably be a different story.
Yeah,
but we're not arriving at 10 a.m. We're arriving at 5-6 o'clock in the evening.
Yeah,
and if anything goes wrong with security or transfers, as in not wrong, but as in they take longer than we think, it might even be 8 o'clock before we're there.
Yeah, anything could happen. So
you never know what happens with with flights, and travel sometimes can be a little bit
rocky. Yeah, so I think that's the best thing to do. And then once we're back from Target,
I say Disney Springs.
Yeah, there is Disney Springs. The alternative is one of the restaurants in our resort.
One of the restaurants in the resort, yeah. So I'll just put Disney Springs.
But we did enjoy going to Disney Springs last time, didn't we? So
yeah, Blaze Pizza.
Probably do that again. Yeah, Blaze Pizza. There's also that burger place I really want to try, and Chicken Guy. So, and then day 2.
So day 2 will be our first park. So what I'll do in the top here is I'll just put my drop down menu.
Yeah. So day 1 we have no dining reservations booked.
Okay. So day 1, what do you want to do? Magic Kingdom?
I'm going to say Magic Kingdom, with it being our first day.
Okay. And are we just going to block out the whole day for Magic Kingdom?
What are your thoughts?
I'm happy to do that at first day.
We did that on our last trip. That worked quite well. It's the Castle Park, isn't it? So yeah, block it out for Magic Kingdom and we'll play it by ear, but we've got no dining reservations for that day. And the reason that I didn't book any dining reservations for that day was because last time when we did have a dining reservation booked, I think because of being tired and a little bit jet lagged and just a little bit overwhelmed, I don't think I appreciated it as much as I did some of the other restaurants. I also don't think that restaurant was as good, so I am kind of glad that we didn't leave it and kind of build up that anticipation. But yeah, I think that's probably quite a good one.
Cool. So park pass for the day will be
Magic Kingdom.
Magic Kingdom. And the hours for Magic Kingdom that day?
The hours for Magic Kingdom are... The hours for Magic Kingdom, for us, we can get early entry from 8:30.
There we go. So I'll just pop in the hours for what our park day will be. Just at a quick glance, I can see what kind of time we need to be there for. So I know I need to get a bus a lot earlier than that. So I can see what time I can actually get in from. And then I can also see what time I'm there till. It doesn't mean that throughout that day we can't come back to the resort and have a little bit of a rest, things like that. You know, I'm not going to plan that in because I don't know how I'm going to be feeling that day and at what time that I want to do that. So I'll just leave that open. That's all left open for interpretation on the day. So what I do now is I go over here, grab my little Magic Kingdom colour. So the next day.
Day 3. So on day 3 we have a dining reservation booked in for Beaches and Cream.
Awesome. What time's that?
So that's at the Beach Club and that's at 3 p.m.
And where do we need to be for Beaches and Cream?
So Beaches and Cream is in the Epcot Hollywood Studios area. So either of the two. Personally for me, I'd probably say Hollywood Studios.
Okay.
On that second day.
Pop it in. And then after Beaches and Cream, going back?
Beaches and Cream, we'll say yes for now. And then...
Until what time?
The park is open until 9 p.m. 8 a.m. It's open 8:30 till 9.
So all I'm doing here is going over to my colour and my Hollywood Studios. I am Control C and then Control V into there just to copy and paste it in. Day 4.
Day 4.
Oh, I haven't finished this one, sorry.
It's okay.
So that is Hollywood Studios Day.
Yeah. Park Pass will be for Hollywood Studios.
Park Pass will be Hollywood Studios, and the times are... What's the entry time?
For us, it'll be 8 a.m.
Until
9, yeah.
Yep. So that's entered there. So in the bottom box down here, you can put in your extra magic hours if you want to do that. And then in here, you can select a party night if there is a party night on your particular night. There isn't really any party nights while we're there, so I won't be selecting any party nights. But it is set up for that if you wanted to. So for example, at Halloween, it'd be Mickey's Not So Scary, wouldn't
Mickey's
it?
Not So Scary, or
Mickey's Not So Scary, yeah.
Yeah, Mickey's Very Merry at Christmas time.
Yeah.
Any of the after hours events, you can pop those in there as well.
Yeah, so it is set up for that. Okay, the next day?
The next day, we have no dining reservations.
Okay.
I was going to suggest that we do this as a Universal day, so I can have a look at their opening times now if you want.
Yeah, okay.
I think it was 9.
7.
I think it was 9 till 9 last time we were there, but let me check. Okay, so because we haven't checked this before, we've been looking at this. Universal is open until 6 p.m. because they have an event on, which I'm going to assume being May is Gradventure. For those of you that don't know, Universal do events throughout May called Gradventure. It's basically all the local middle school students that have graduated. They put an event on at Universal, either Islands of Adventure or Universal Studios or both. And yeah, it's basically blocked out for middle school kids. So those days in the park last year were mental busy, weren't they?
Yeah, they were.
When the actual event was on. And yeah, for us personally, I don't know about you, but I'm thinking maybe we should avoid that day.
Yeah, that's fine.
So that we can get a full day, because it's open till 9 the rest of the week.
Yeah.
So how about we do Islands on day 6 instead?
Okay.
Because that day it's open till 9 p.m.
Just merge those cells together.
Yeah.
Grab my Islands of Adventure. Paste it in. There we go.
Cool. So we've got that. So day 4. So we've done Magic Kingdom and Hollywood Studios. We have a dining reservation on day 5 for Animal Kingdom. So do we do day 4 at Epcot?
So I think we do Epcot here and then Animal Kingdom here.
Cool. So we have no dining reservations for Epcot, but Epcot opens at 9. So it'll be 8:30 for us.
Until?
8:30 until 9.
What time are they open?
Animal Kingdom this trip weirdly appears to open at 9 a.m. to regular guests, so 8:30 for us. The dining reservation is, bear with me, it's Yak and Yeti. So what we could do that day is either finish the day in Animal Kingdom at 7.
I'd probably just rather see how we feel on the day when we're there. But because I've left all of this blank here, that tells us that we've got free time, that we, time that we haven't allocated yet. So we've got time there. So if we're feeling tired after all these days here, and then we get to Animal Kingdom here and we're feeling quite tired and we don't feel like doing a park, then we could potentially use that evening to sit in the resort, maybe watch the fireworks from the resort and things like that. So we know we don't need to be anywhere. We've not booked to be anywhere, so we can just have that time to do whatever, and we can just decide there and then what we're going to do.
Yeah, exactly.
So on here then we'll just select Highlander Adventure.
Yeah.
The timings for Highlander Adventure were
9 a.m. So we're not staying at Universal, so we don't get any early entry there.
Yeah. Park pass required that day?
Park pass, obviously it's going to be open till 9. There's a potential that by the time we've got in the Uber and everything, Magic Kingdom's only open till 10 this trip.
Potentially on that day, because we're staying at Universal so late, it will just be straight back to the hotel jobby there, won't it?
Potentially.
Or maybe even straight to Disney Springs, see how we feel. Or we could grab dinner at City Walk that day and then go straight back.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea, actually.
So I think for that day, it's just there's no park pass will be required. But did you want to book one anyway?
I think it's worth booking one just in case.
In case anything happened, in case Islands of Adventure was busy and we wanted to get out of there and go back another day or something, we could always go back to a Disney park. So we could tap into Magic Kingdom. And then decide from there what we want to do. So again, this is why we're explaining this. Even on a day when we're not going to a Disney park, we've not planned to be at a Disney park, we're still booking a pass for a Disney park, just in case anything goes wrong for whatever reason. We can always get into a Disney park if we need to.
Exactly.
So we could go to Magic Kingdom, we could tap into it, and then we could walk straight back out and go to Animal Kingdom, as long as we tap into one park. But as Magic Kingdom is the park that's open the latest, that's the one we're going to tap into. And then we've got day 7.
Day 7, we have a lunch reservation.
Be at, please.
That lunch reservation will be at Skipper Canteen.
Ooh, love Skipper Canteen. What's that, about 1?
Yeah. We will be there on time. They are quite strict with your dining reservations. You have a 15-minute grace period. Usually that's not guaranteed. And if for whatever reason you aren't there on time, they will just give your table away. So it's worth making sure that you're definitely there on time.
So I'm selecting Magic Kingdom all the way up until the Skipper Canteen booking, just because we'll need that pass to get into Skipper Canteen, get into Magic Kingdom, so we can get to Skipper Canteen. What we do after that then is kind of up to us. We could either stay in Magic Kingdom and have a full Magic Kingdom day, which potentially I think is not necessary since we've got a full one there on day 2. I potentially would now look to see if we can go somewhere else that afternoon. So after our dinner, we could park up somewhere else. So we can leave that blank just to keep it open, so we can decide what we want to do there and then. But back to the resort, and chill out a bit there, and then maybe go somewhere for the evening or something. But potentially I would leave that open now at that point, and we can just make the decision. Yeah,
I think so. I think that's a good idea. Just to touch on what you've just said there, I think one thing that we learned last trip is that it's really important to make sure that you do give yourself time to go for a break during your trips. I know that for us, we certainly got swept up in the magic and the excitement, didn't we? And we really wanted to, we did rope drop to fireworks every morning, but we made sure that we took a break in the middle, and we kind of had to force ourselves at times to take that break.
Because you don't want to leave.
But doing a day that long and that many steps and that many people around you is overwhelming, especially in that Florida heat as well.
Don't be forcing yourself, because you've only got 2 weeks, or maybe you've only got a week coming all the way from the UK. You think I'm wasting hours by going back to the resort. That was my attitude last year, but you do need those breaks.
Yeah, it did us a lot of good, didn't it?
Yeah, it did, yeah.
So I would say definitely make sure that don't feel guilty about going back to your resort or taking a bit of time out of the park or getting yourself a dining reservation and just sitting down for an hour or two, getting some AC, getting out of the sun, and just making sure that you're hydrated and that you've just had some time to relax.
Definitely.
Even if it's that you pop to another resort, for example, if you're in Magic Kingdom, you could go to the Grand Floridian and go and get like a coffee there or something and just sit down in there for an hour or two. Or like I said, going back to your resort room, going to the pool, whatever you want to do, just make sure that you give yourself a bit of time to relax, because the last thing that you want to do is start and go full on from day one and then be burnt out by day 3, because then you're not going to get the most out of your experience anyway.
Absolutely. But yeah, I think that's about all we're going to show. Really, the video was just to kind of show how we do it, and it was also just to give you an insight into the little spreadsheet thing that we do. Obviously, when we're going away, the laptop comes with us, so this will just sit on the laptop and we'll sit in the room and we'll just look at it in the mornings. It's not something that we carry on our phone. We can, because it's on Google Drives, so we can look at it, but we don't necessarily need to. No. This is just to look at every morning, just to make sure we've got the right bits in. We're getting on the right bus, basically. We haven't got ourselves confused, and we're getting on the right bus every day. So yeah.
And we know that some people do print off an itinerary and take that with them, and if you do, that's fine.
I don't do that. That's too much for me.
Yeah, I think we're very much aware that some people do literally plan their days out by, we're going to do this at this time. By this time, we're going to have been on this ride.
And I think if you've got a big family,
potentially that works
for you, and that's what you need to do. And if that's what you need to do, that's what you need to do. That's absolutely fine, but it's not something that we need to do. So so what I'm going to do, so thank you very much for getting this far in the video, and thank you for getting all the way to the end of it. I am going to leave a link for this if you do want to download this for yourself, and you can use it as and however you please and edit it however which way you want to do that. But I am going to leave a link in there so you can just grab it for yourself if you do want to use this and plan your trips in a similar way that we do. Yeah,
definitely. So top 5 tips from us then. So number 1, always book a park pass. As we discussed, for example, we're going to Islands of Adventure one day, but we will always have that park pass booked for Magic Kingdom. You never know what's going to happen, and if you don't have a park pass booked, some days they can completely sell out, and at that point, regardless of whether you're staying on site or not, or you have a 14-day or however long, or a 3-week, for example, Disney ticket, you will not be able to get into a Disney park. So you need to make sure that you have that park pass booked to allow you to tap into the park. Even if it's not the park that you're going to spend the day at, it's always worth making sure that is booked.
Be flexible with your plans to ensure you get the dining reservations that you want. So with this one, it's just to ensure that you get the dining reservations that you can get and get the dining reservations that you want to get, and then plan your days around those. So don't just go ahead and plan all of your days and say, well, I need a booking. I'm in Magic Kingdom this day, so I need a booking for this restaurant. You really need to, with these restaurants and reservations can be so busy and booked up that you really need to go about it by booking the restaurant first and then planning your day around whatever booking you got. So that's the way we go. That's the way we go forward with it, is that we will look at what reservations we can get, and then based on whatever reservations we've got on whatever days, that will dictate what parks we do on those days, not the other way around.
Absolutely. And you can find more about tips for getting the best dining reservations in my video here, hopefully. And in that video I talk all about how I book our dining reservations, because it is me that takes control of that, isn't it, to make sure that we get the best ones.
Absolutely.
And it's a mission.
I've got the patience for it.
No. If you are interested in getting the best out of your dining reservations, and if you want to know my top tips, then definitely check that video out. I've got loads of information in there, and if you do have any questions, pop them in the comments below. So the next one then, number 3, spend at least 1 full day in each park. So if you have longer, then great. Spend as much time as you can in each park. Have a think about each park. If you've been before, then you'll probably know how long you want to spend in each one. But I would say if it's your first time, and you've got other parks as well, try and spend at least one full day, maybe 1.5 days in each park if you can, because there's so much to do and there's no guarantee that you're going to be able to do it all. So it's definitely worth making sure that you've got more than one day to do it in. That's definitely something that we learned in our last trip, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like there's still stuff even now in some of the parks that we didn't get to do in our last trip. So I think we felt a little bit that we didn't get enough time in one or two of the parks last trip.
Yeah.
So yeah, for us, that's definitely one of our top tips.
Look out for events that may cause parks to close early. So this really comes from our experience with Universal mainly, doesn't it? Is that, like Matt said earlier, with the Gradventure stuff, they may have an event or something like that which may cause the park to close early on a particular day. So if you can look ahead like we have and kind of see if the park is due to close early on a particular day, and just work out whether by going on that day, if that's going to suit your plans or if that's something that you want to do. So for us, going to Islands of Adventure and getting nearly 3 hours less of our day, but we wouldn't really want to do that because because we're not on site with the Universal at any point. We have to pay for lifts to get there. There's no free buses to get us there, so we pay for lifts to get there. So we want to make sure if we're paying for a lift or an Uber to get us there, that we get the most out of that day. So just by moving our Universal by one day, we ended up adding 3 hours to our day.
Yeah.
So just make sure your parks and things like that you go into, especially if you haven't got free transport to them, that you are getting as the most out of that day and the most out of your money.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that also applies with Disney parks as well, when they have events on like Mickey's Not So Scary or Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, any of those kinds of ticketed events. From what I've seen, we've not experienced them yet.
No.
At some point in the future, I'm hoping that we will. That'd be great.
Yeah.
But one thing that I would say is, from what I've seen, the crowds on those days in Magic Kingdom can be insane. So if you're not going to that party, I would say go to another park that day, because you're going to get kicked out early anyway. You're probably going to be a bit jealous of all the people that are staying. I know that I certainly would be. And yeah, you're not going to get to ride much because of the crowds. So yeah. I would say if you aren't going to an event,
avoid that park that day if that park's got an event.
If you are going to an event and if there is an event on, and you're not going to it, then I'd avoid the park that day personally. Lastly then, tip number 5 is don't set unrealistic expectations for your day. Briefly planning out something like we have is great. It gives you the flexibility, and you don't have unrealistic expectations of how much you're going to cram in. I would say set one priority for the day, whether that's a dining reservation or whether that's just a day knowing where you're going to spend that day. Try not to cram too much in, and don't set yourself expectations of how much you can cram into that day, because no one ever knows what's going to happen on a park day. No one ever knows what rides are going to go down or how busy it's going to be. There's great tools out there. One thing that I use is the Undercover Tourist Crowd Calendar. We can pop that in the link in the description below. That's great. It gives you all of the information. It suggests parks to you for that day based on the crowd levels from the previous years. So it's definitely worth looking at tools like that, but try not to set yourself unrealistic expectations, because all you're going to do is end up upset when they don't happen, because they more than likely can't. So as much as you want to squeeze as much juice out of the holiday as you can, I know that we certainly do that.
Absolutely.
I would definitely say one of my tips is don't put pressure on yourself to get too much done.
Rinse it for all it's worth.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we do. And you end up walking back to your room crying because your feet hurt.
Yeah.
But it's worth it. It's worth every minute of it. But don't set yourself unrealistic expectations.
And with that said, I think we're going to love you and leave you here. So Thank you so much for watching this video. If you're watching, please do watch the series when it's out. We are traveling very, very soon, so the series is only a few weeks away. So please do watch it. And
if you haven't watched our last series, we'll pop that in the description below as well.
Yeah, so that's last year's, and that'll be the 50th series. So yeah, please do watch that. If you have got this far in the video, thank you so much, and thank you very much for all the support. Please like and subscribe to our channel for more. Yeah. And we'll see you
in the next one.
Bye.